guys, it's Reagan and welcome back to another video. I'm actually really excited and a little bit nervous for some reason to be filming today's video. I'm going to be doing a Q&A and a life update. I feel like it's been a minute since I've sat down with you guys and kind of caught up on all sorts of just random questions. I feel like I have a lot of pop culture things to catch you guys up on, but outside of that, I also have quite a few pretty big life changes, things to chat about. I guess you could probably tell by the title if we're being honest. But yeah, there's actually quite a few big things coming up in Clay's and I's life that I wanted to chat with you guys about because we're both pretty excited. Which brings me to the Q&A portion. I asked you guys on Instagram for some questions to chat about in today's video. Quick shout out, if you're not following me on Instagram, I'll leave a link down below. There's lots of fun, extra content that happens over there. We love Instagram. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the Q&A, starting with what is going to be the title of this video and also probably the most asked question overall, which in general is, what is Clay's and yours long-term plan? Do you plan on living in New York forever? Do you have any big upcoming moves happening? And the answer all around is yes. There is some big changes. Yes, we have some upcoming moves because we're actually leaving New York City this summer and moving back to, drumroll please, Austin, Texas. For some context, if you guys weren't aware, Clay and I have lived and worked in New York City for the past 3 years. We've honestly loved living here. We had a lot of great work opportunities, but in general, the city is amazing. We've made so many friends and just seen and done so many things. Before we lived in New York City, we lived in Chicago for a year. But before all of that, Clay and I are actually both from Texas. I'm from Dallas, he's from San Antonio, and we met in school in Austin. But for both Clay and I, Austin has always been kind of the place we always saw ourselves coming back to, like our forever home, if you will. We have so many friends, so many family that live in Texas, but also in Austin in general. And for us, both professionally and just kind of our lifestyles, we've always loved Austin so much. So it's always been kind of like in the back of our minds. We always knew we were going to move there. We weren't totally sure when we were going to make it back, but I think a lot of people could relate to this over the past year and some months. I would say our timeline has accelerated a bit, and we are moving back to Austin, Texas this summer, and we're really looking forward to it for a bunch of reasons. I can't wait to eat all of the tacos, drink all the margaritas. I can't wait to pay probably up to 100% less in rent. God bless. But the thing we're definitely most excited about is just seeing our friends and family again, and just in general kind of settling down in a new chapter of our lives. It's definitely bittersweet. We love New York so much. We've had so much fun living here, and definitely a chapter we will never forget. But yes, it's time to pack up the old bookshelves and head on out. I do hope to make some New York related content as well, as Clay and I kind of plan to try to make the most of this area before we bid it adieu. But yeah, definitely really looking forward to it. Again, sad to be leaving. Love New York City so much, but also looking forward to starting this kind of next stage of my life. I feel like I'm getting old, which is also just a whole separate conversation for a different day. A youth crisis is kind of also what I'm in the middle of. But moving on to the next most popular question, which was about my job. So I have talked about my job a few times in some other Q&As, which I'll have linked down below if you want some additional information. But overall, I essentially have been working in digital marketing at an agency for the past 4 years between living in Chicago and New York City. A big agency. I've worked across a variety of different clients, but basically working in data analytics and media. Because I am moving, obviously this does change a bit of what my job is going to be looking like. Mine is a bit simpler than Clay's, as I'm just going to be moving into contract work and freelance work with a variety of clients and agencies I have been working with for years, but I'm looking forward to it, not only because it gives me a bit more flexibility in my schedule, but it allows me to work in kind of a broader range of clients. I've been working on B2B for the past 3 years, which has been great, lots of amazing experience, but I'm kind of looking to break more into like the B2C space and all of that. That's a bit of a ramble, but for Clay, obviously again, because we're moving cities, he's going to be getting a new job as well. He works in finance and is actually looking to make a bit of a shift to kind of have a bit of a better work-life balance. It is his overall goal as well for the next like arc of his personal career, but not to dive too far into that. So yeah, that's basically what I do. Digital marketing, data, and analytics. It's a bunch of Excel. It's a little boring, but I personally have really enjoyed it over the years, and it does go with my degree. I have a BS in advertising and a BA in history. So that is a little more details of like my overall job. Enough about that and enough about the move. Let's get into the prime time of this video, which is BTS. So I recently chatted about on my Instagram that I have become a BTS stan. This is true. This is true. It was a complete and total accident. They really get you, you know? Like you really just like go on Google to learn their names one day and then all of a sudden you're buying BTS stickers for your phone case. I still don't quite know what happened, but I have watched the entirety of In the Soup. That seriously is just serotonin in a show. I have a lot of friends that love K-pop for years and I've really tried to not get sucked in because I am not low-key when it comes to hobbies. I mean, literally, look what I'm doing right now. But they finally got me. My bias is Jin, my bias wrecker is literally everyone else in the group. What can I say? They're all great. My favorite songs right now, I think, are Spring Day and Moon. But, you know, I'm just an emo girl, so I love all of their sad songs, if I'm being honest. But yeah, BTS is great. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's so fun. It's so fun. Like, happy to be here. I currently don't really listen or follow any other idol groups. I'm really trying to avoid it. I feel like BTS is taking up a lot of my brain space at the moment, and I just don't know if I can commit any more than I currently am. But like, I also recognize it's a complete slippery slope. So like, ask me again in 3 months and like, I'll probably be a Twice fan. Like, who even knows anymore? Not me. Another question I saw that I was really excited to see because I'm just really excited about it in general, which was, is Matilda going to get a sibling soon? I don't know quite when, but it is definitely a dream of mine to get Matilda a little sibling so they can play together. Our hope is eventually Clay and I will have a bit of outdoor space so Matilda can just run free and be free, and I would love to get her a little companion so they can snuggle together and just be dog friends. It's been Clay's and I's like immediate dream to get another dog, but obviously living in the amount of space we had, it just didn't really work out at the moment, but it's definitely on our to-do list near the top. It's a dream of ours. We want another dog. We don't quite know when it's exactly going to happen, but hopefully in the next year or so. But yeah, definitely want a second dog in this family. Counting down, counting down. Next question I am just excited to see is, what is your first post-situation travel plan? Honestly, I think about this probably every single day. I feel like I'm planning trips left and right. They're all fake at the moment, obviously, but hopefully one day soon. I have like more long distance travel plans I have dreams about, and like shorter, more realistic travel plans. The realistic ones are kind of doing road trips and visiting some national parks in the Northeast, just getting outside, enjoying nature, especially now that the weather is getting warmer, and just kind of stretching the legs and kind of seeing some places again before we, you know, leave the Northeast is definitely a goal of both Clay's and I's. Some longer term travel plans, I honestly would love to go to the West Coast. It's been a long time, but also I would love to maybe go to Seattle or Portland. I've never been there before. Go to LA. I mean, I honestly want to go everywhere. I feel like everywhere is currently on my travel plan list. Obviously, some of the larger trips would be like Europe. I'd really love to go to Austria, Italy, the UK. I mean, honestly, seriously, like everywhere. Like a plane ticket, just take me somewhere. I just want to see it. I just want to walk around. I want to see some new sights, you know? And then obviously also there's Korea, there's Japan, there's Singapore, there's Hong Kong, which is really high on my list. There's so many places I want to go. It's impossible to pick one. Basically, hopefully I'll just be flying all over the place and we are able to do so safely. Some questions on how do I stay motivated to read. I actually have a whole video on how to read more, but my biggest tip is honestly just schedule it in, and more than that, stop reading books you're not liking. Like, just keep picking up books until you find one that really captures your attention, because at the end of the day, reading is supposed to be fun. If you're not enjoying what you're reading, put it down and find something that you like, because it shouldn't be a chore, it should be a good time. So schedule it into your day, in the morning, in the evenings, or maybe at lunch, and then only read books that you actually like reading, you know? Big tip. Also audiobooks, but again, I have a whole video which I will leave linked. Someone asked what my star sign is, and I wanted to mention this because I think it's a really funny one, and that is a triple Cancer. I'm a triple Cancer, so it's just crying all of the time. Some questions on how long Clay and I have been together. We have been together seven years this year. It's been a long time. We've basically been dating since college, so we've gone through many different life stages together, including this work from home life stage, which honestly was a lot of fun. I also received a lot of questions on how did you guys cope working together in the same space. For us, it was honestly a positive experience because of our work schedules before, particularly Clay's work schedule. He worked very long hours and often had to always do that in the office. But with work from home, we were actually able to see each other much more than we had previously. So even though he was maybe working really late, we could still have dinner together and kind of be and cohabitate within the same space, which was really nice. I would say the only downside is because of how our kind of apartment was set up, very nice of me, gave Clay the desk and I worked from the couch, which at the beginning of work from home was kind of really nice. Like, ooh, I get to work from the couch, you know, how comfortable. But after a while, it really, really is not that great. I got a little stand to prop my computer, but like for your back, for your wrists, I'm getting old. Like it just wasn't overall very, very comfortable of an experience, but you know, small sacrifice, small sacrifice. Now we rotate out on the desk, which has been a really lovely experience, but I would say the biggest struggle was the lack of desk, but we really did enjoy being able to spend more time together and just see each other a lot more during the week, which was not really a thing before. So overall, I would say it was pretty positive. And just in general, I think making time for your own personal interests, still allowing yourself to have some personal time, I think makes living in a small space with someone 24/7 much easier. So he plays his Call of Duty Warzone, I watch my K-dramas, though we do watch and do a lot of things together too. In fact, I've actually gotten Clay into K-dramas, which was a well done on me moment. Speaking of K-dramas, lots of questions about my favorite shows. Obviously, I would say I'm very, very new to K-dramas. I am by no means an expert. It was definitely a 2021 discovery that best thing I discovered this year. Love them. I will be watching them for the rest of my life. But for the small amount of shows I have seen, I would say a great show to start with is definitely Crash Landing on You. That was one of the first dramas I watched and I fell in love with the genre. I also really love Slice of Life. Touch Your Heart is great. This is probably my favorite slice of life. Another really fun slice of life is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. Also the actor in this is my favorite. There's just so many fun K-dramas to watch across a variety of different genres, and they're great. I love that they're one season. I love how they're paced. I honestly just can't stop. They're basically all I watch at this point outside of anime, which speaking of anime, I've got some questions on what Clay and I plan to watch next. I think the show on the top of our list, definitely Demon Slayer, given that the movie just came out or is about to come out, and in general, I'm a little embarrassed I haven't even seen this yet. I'm also watching Jujustu Kaisen and Haiku with Starla, which we're kind of catching up on. I'm a little behind on my anime watching, especially now that I've basically gone full throttle on K-dramas, but love anime, love dramas. It's been great. Would highly recommend watching all of those things. Like, check them out. Check them out. There's so many K-dramas on Netflix now. Like, seriously, watch a few. They'll change your life. Someone asked me what my favorite color is, and recently it's been this color purple. I cannot stop wearing lilac, buying lilac, surrounding myself with this color. There's just something about it that is so joyful. It's working on me. Maybe it's spring, I don't know, but this by far and away is my favorite color at the moment. Got some questions if I ever plan to go back to school to get my master's. This is something if you asked me a year ago, I would immediately say no. I had no interest going back to school. I felt very comfortable with the degrees I had in terms of like what it is I wanted to do. Now that's much more up in the air, and I know a lot of other people are kind of feeling the same way. So yeah, it's definitely something I've started to ponder if I want to go back and get my MBA or maybe get a master's in something else like library science. With the amount of years I have in my career, I feel this like mild personal pressure to like confirm this is in fact what I want to do and give myself the opportunity to mentally think through if there's any pivots or changes I want to make, which is kind of why I've been thinking about getting my master's, if there's some sort of pivot I would like to make professionally. At this exact moment, the answer is no, but it's also not completely out of the question. And in general, I'm just kind of much more interested in going back to school and continuing my education than I was right when I graduated school. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it more than I ever have. I still don't know if I'm going to, but it's definitely not off the table, if that makes sense. Particularly that master's in library science. If I could just have any job in the world, it would just be working at the public library or at an academic library. I don't know. It's really calling out to me lately. Someone asked me if I'd rather get dinner with Jeff Probst from Survivor or TJ Lavin. This is such a hard question. I don't know. It changes every second. Every time I think about it, I pick a different person. If you're not familiar, Survivor and The Challenger are my favorite reality TV shows. I've seen all seasons. I am very, very into these reality TV shows to the point of maybe I shouldn't be admitting that, but like I love them. They bring me so much joy. Clay actually got me a cameo from TJ Lavin and it's one of my prized possessions. Oh, I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna say Jeff Probst because I feel like he is like really into the game Survivor and I'd be really curious to see his perspective on like the evolution of the gameplay through the seasons and kind of like what he would want to see kind of happen as the show continues to evolve. But TJ Lavin I feel like has such good tea on all the contestants because there's just so much going on behind the scenes and because people come back year after year. Oh, it's so hard. But I'm gonna stick with my first answer, Jeff Probst from Survivor. Which, honestly, would I go on the show Survivor? Yes. Only because recently I found out you could bring sunscreen. I think I would. I think I would do it. Yeah, I think I would. I would go. I don't know how well I would do, but I would go. Where do I see myself in 5 years? And this is something else I feel like I used to put a lot more pressure on, especially when I was younger. Like I felt like I needed to have a forecast of my entire life, but I'm trying to like not have such a set in stone plan for myself. Like in general, I have some broad strokes that I would like to generally accomplish in the next 5 years, but I'm trying to take things more like 6 months at a time, you know? Personally, it's been helping a lot more with my anxiety because I get a little overwhelmed when I think about all the things I want to do in the next 5 years. Personally speaking, I'm trying to take things in 6-month increments, maybe year increments, because I don't know, 5 years, that's like, it's a lot of time. And also, again, because I'm having a youth crisis, I feel like, I just feel like there's so many things I need to pack into those 5 years. So I don't know is the answer. I don't have a 5-year plan. I just hope to be happy is really it at the end of the day. So TBD. A couple questions on my favorite bookstore in NYC. I have quite a few and I actually do plan on making a video about this. A few that come at the top of my mind is McNally Jackson. I feel like they have a great selection. Bookstore Magic is a favorite. I like Greenlight Bookstore. I do really enjoy walking through the Strand. There's so many in New York and I definitely miss kind of exploring bookstores, so that's hopefully something I'll be doing a bit more of soon. But yeah, those are all great options. Someone asked Evermore or Folklore. I think I'm actually more of an Evermore girl, which I find a little surprising, but I don't know, I just feel like there are some jams on there that I just find myself going back to and back to, but I mean, I love both of them. They're definitely my 2 favorite Taylor Swift albums. My favorite bagel, everything bagel with plain cream cheese, is my go-to. I get it pretty much every single weekend. Every Saturday or Sunday from my local bagel place. It's something I'll miss dearly about New York City. Ended on this one, what is the best read you've read so far in the year 2021? Which is actually so hard because I've read some really, really, really incredible books. I would say probably Pachinko. I really, really loved Pachinko, but again, so many great books I read this year, but I think Pachinko is one that I feel like I'm gonna recommend to like everyone in my life, and also one that I feel like I constantly come back to in my mind. I'm also really excited about the adaptation, but all in all, I think it's just one of the best books I have ever read. So I'm gonna go with Pachinko. Alrighty guys, that is my Q&A and life update. So lots to keep you guys posted on. Again, I hopefully will be making some content about this, but yeah, I'm moving across the country with Matilda and Clay. We're all very, very excited about it, but yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another video soon.